as far now we have done the internal energy, and you saw that we also proved that change in internal energy give us the information about the heat energy released or absorbed at constant volume. Right, we did this, but actually you will be surprised to know that most of the reactions which take place in the daily routine are not occurring at constant volume. They are however occurring at the you can say the constant pressure, because we have the atmospheric pressure. So normally all the reactions which are taking place, most of the reactions which are taking place are occurring at the constant pressure. So we need a term which specify the heat energy released or absorbed at constant pressure. We are absolutely we are looking for a term which gives us the information about the heat energy released or absorbed at constant pressure. So here we have that new term that is going to give us the information about the heat energy released at constant pressure, and that is the enthalpy. That is the enthalpy. So what is actually the enthalpy? Enthalpy is the sum of, what I'll do, I'll just not write the definition now, right. I'll just solve it mathematically, and then you will come to know that what is exactly the definition, and then I'll write the definition along with that. So let us see that we know so far that U is equal to Q plus W. We know that from first law of thermodynamics. We also know that W is equal to P delta V, and if it is expansion, we take W as minus P delta V. So this is what we are going to do, that we are going to put this value here. So what we are getting, change in delta U is equal to Q minus P delta V. This is what we have. Now, can I write delta U as U2 minus U1? Yes, I can, right, because the change is the final minus the initial. So this is what I did, that I wrote delta U as U2 minus U1. Likewise, I'll write the P here because everything is occurring at constant pressure, right. So I'm just going to write the P here. Now, what do we get? That we can write QP minus P delta V as V2 minus V1. So I can write this. Solving it, what do I get? U2 minus U1, again QP, I'll solve this bracket, PV2 plus PV1. This is what, P as P because it is occurring at constant pressure, right. So this is what, I'm just going to shuffle them up. So what I'll get after that, U2, this thing U2 minus U1, I'll move this term here, it becomes PV2, moving PV1 here, minus PV1 is equal to QP. So I'm just going to group two quantities together, that is the 2 to 1s, like U2 plus PV2 as one quantity minus U1 plus PV1 as one quantity. So this is what I get after doing that U2, that is the internal energy of the second one, plus V2, likewise minus U1 plus P1 is equal to QP. Now there is a new term, that is the enthalpy, and it is something equal to the sum of the internal energy and the pressure volume work. So I can write it as enthalpy, and the symbol which is used for enthalpy is actually H, right. So this is for the second case. So I'm just going to write the H2 and this is H1. So we get QP. Now H2 minus H1 can be written as delta H. So we can write delta H is nothing but the heat energy released or absorbed at constant pressure. So this is a new term, right, and I think you just you are familiar that why we needed this new term, because everything is occurring at constant pressure. So we need a term which specifies the heat energy released or absorbed at constant pressure. That is why we introduced this term enthalpy. So now we are in a position to write its definition. So enthalpy is actually the sum of internal energy and pressure volume work, that is H is equal to U plus PV. This is what we have, right. Now we'll just so this is the you can say a general mathematical expression for the enthalpy, but we are going to, like, if we involve gaseous moles, then this the formula gets little changed. So just look at the board that how it gets changed when the reaction involves the gaseous moles. So see what we are going to do. Again we have is H is equal to, we have already derived H is equal to U plus PV, right. This is what we have. So I can write delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V. I can write this. So after solving, what do I get? Delta H is equal to delta U plus P as V2 minus V1. After solving, delta H is equal to delta U plus PV2 minus PV1. Right. Till here you understood that how we did? We just used the enthalpy expression and I just write the changes and I just wrote delta V as V2 minus V1. I solved that bracket and as a result I get this thing. Now we know that for an ideal gas PV is equal to nRT. Right. So I am just going to put the value of PV in case of PV2 and in PV1. So what do I get after writing? Delta U, so PV2 as N2RT minus PV1 as N1RT. So this is what we have, right? So now we know that delta H is nothing but the heat energy released at or absorbed at constant pressure. And likewise, delta U is nothing but the heat energy released or absorbed at constant volume. So that means at the places of delta H and delta U I can write the QP and QV. So this is what I am doing. QP is equal to QV. N2 minus N1 is something delta Ng, that is the change in the number of gaseous moles, RT. So this is the equation which we get when the reaction involves the gaseous moles, or you can say that it is actually a relation that how we relate QP and QV. So this is what we get, that QP is equal to QV plus delta Ng RT. Now you know that how to calculate this delta Ng. I will just tell you that how to do that. Suppose we have C plus O2 CO2. It is in solid state, it is in gaseous state, it is again in gaseous state. So this delta Ng is applicable only for the gases, you have to keep in mind. So delta Ng is calculated by moles of product, gaseous moles of product minus gaseous moles of reactant. So what is the gaseous mole of product? 1, and again for the reactant 1. So in this case delta Ng is 0. So this is how you can solve for delta Ng, that is the moles of the product, gaseous moles of the product minus the gaseous moles of the reactant. So you will get the delta Ng. Now if somebody asks you that under what condition delta H can be equal to delta U, or I can say under what condition QP is equal to QV, both means the same. So if we know that delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V, right. So if the reaction is occurring at constant volume, if the reaction is occurring at constant volume, that is, I will write here, we have delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V initially. If it is occurring at constant volume, that means there is no change in volume and this expression is going to be 0, right. So that means we will get delta H is equal to delta U. So this is the first case when you can get that delta H is equal to delta U, that is when the reaction occur at constant volume. Second condition is that if there are no gaseous moles, if the reaction involves no gaseous moles, likewise I will write here, see we have delta H is equal to delta U plus delta Ng RT, we proved in this equation. So if there is no gaseous mole, so that means this is going to be 0 and delta H is going to be delta U. And likewise we can have other condition also, when the mole of product is equal to mole of reactant, or we can say when there is no change in gaseous moles. In the second one there were no gaseous moles involved, everything was solid or liquid, but in this case there are moles, but unfortunately the mole of the product and the reactant are equal. So that means delta, there is no change, right. Again this term is going to be neglected and delta H is equal to delta U. This I answered in terms of delta H and delta U. Likewise you can answer in form of QP and QV, because we know that delta H is the heat energy released or absorbed at constant pressure and delta U is heat energy released or absorbed at constant volume. So this is how you have to solve for it. So I think you understood very well that what is the need of this quantity enthalpy, you know that now, and what is the how it is denoted, you know it is denoted with H, right. And when we talk about its definition, then that means it is equal to the sum of internal energy and pressure volume work. And how we derive that? This is the mathematical proof. And what is the relation between QP and QV, or how you can relate the heat energy released or absorbed at constant pressure and volume, then you are going to do that in this way. See, you have to be well versed with the formulas. So what you do, because we did so many formulas so far and we will be doing more also. So what you do, just make a one page, just write down the topic name and along with that the formulas, because it will help you in solving the numericals, right. So just try to sum them up. So learn till here and then we will be starting with the new topic, and but for this moment learn till here, just sum up all the formulas on one page, because we are in a position to do numericals now, right.